All right, welcome back everybody. In today's episode, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks that I've learned while playing and that I've read about other people learning while playing, right? Learning from other people's mistakes. The first one I want to go over is how to level up faster. Leveling up is obviously one of the biggest pains in the game. You only have access to so much experience. And as you can see, you end up with a lot more trainers than you have experience to level them up. And so you want to make sure that you're always making the best decisions that you can, so that way you can have the strongest decks possible, develop the strongest teams, and overall do the best possible and rank the highest. The way to do this, and this is, maybe you know this already, if so I apologize, is to rank up your rare and your normal rarity trainers all the way up to level 5 and then convert them into cubes. So the way you do this is by leveling them up, obviously, just like normal. You can see this one is a rare. I've already got it up to rank 3, level it up, and then I don't have a second one to rank it up with, but you would rank it up to rank 5. And you can see here, if we go to cube conversion, that if you were to rank this up to rank 5, here on the bottom, you would get 8 cubes with a 50% chance of getting a super rare cube out of it. So basically, the average that you'll get is 4 rare and 4 super rare. When you're trying to level up your super rare characters, those super rare level up or experience chips are going to come in handy, because that's what it takes to be able to consistently level these up. So you can see I don't have any right now, but as you get those, that's going to be able to help you out a lot. So early on, before I knew this, I actually just converted a lot of my rare guys just like this and just settled for taking 1 blue box per. But obviously a rare only gives you, I believe it's about 500 experience, whereas a epic gives you like 6,000. So I can't recall, somebody made a guide, if you go and check, and the guide says that basically for leveling up your rare trainers, you end up gaining in profit about 11,000 experience worth after spending the trainers to get there, versus just converting them to cubes directly. So that's the first thing, and that's just how to level up faster. The second thing is how to make just a very simple thing, and that is to remember the importance of super rare characters. You're going to get these far more often than you are the super rare and the ultra rare. So these purple ones are actually your best friend. And here's why. I want to show you different positions. Like let's say we were going to do first base. I have 1 super rare first base character, and the rest are all super rares. And obviously a couple rares here. And so you can see in terms of actual characters, I only have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 unique super rare or higher first basemen. Which means if I was going to put together a team, I could have a max bonus. So if we go to deck, I'll just pick a random one. We'll make this the first baseman here. I'm done using it for the lab and I've already made that video. So then I'm going to select recommended, by position, first base, apply. So this is what it automatically throws in there. You notice it already puts in 5 first base players, and you have to use unique ones. They don't stack. And then if you see, if I click on deck skill, you can see that first base resolve is maxed out. Now, here's why it's important. This skill, this deck skill, first base resolve, if you get this to level 5, it costs you 625 skill points, but it gives you 200 to each of the main skills. And that 200 to each main skill is equivalent to buying an epic grade, an epic plus, or super rare plus grade item. So that's the same item that's going to cost you 3,300 GP when you're playing the main game. So just by getting 625 and putting that into this, you're going to be able to get that. So it's important whenever you're trying to level up and get the highest power by position that you go in, and you can see here my first base deck here has a power rating of 8,900. I'm actually going to go into my player so we can build out the deck and you can see it a little bit easier. Let's see here, first base, you need 600 or higher, 7 skills. So let's just develop it real quick. Click on first base. I always randomize my name. I don't really care what the name is. So here we have Hall. That's fine. Right hand hit. Let's move over to first base. And you can see, as we saw before, it's 8,900. Now here's something that's important. The reason you want to upgrade your super rare, your purple guys, all the way up to rank 5 is because most of them, not all of them, when they're at rank 5, level 45, will actually double the level of the resolve that you get. So first base resolve, you can see here, this guy's rank 5. Look at that, he's giving 2 points towards first base resolve. Now what does that mean? That means that now I can keep the max first base resolve and I can actually get rid of this first baseman here and replace it with, say, this one. So by putting, I believe that's Rachel, we put Rachel in, and now look, my deck power goes up to 9,800. But if we check the deck skill, I'm still maxed first base resolve. And so by doing that, now we have a much higher chance of getting in the high Bs, maybe even the low As if we get lucky. So I know whenever you play the game, it's very easy to just bypass the super rare aspect and move straight into maybe the next up, focus on the super rare and the ultra rare. But those super rares are really going to matter. And here's why it matters a lot. Because you think maybe, maybe first base is just a fluke that you need that. Well, take a look. We're going to go through every position. Second baseman. Okay, I've got 1 ultra rare, 3 super rares, and the rest are all ultra rare. Or sorry, super rare. So you can see here that having these super rares, I have to have some of those leveled up because I just don't have the capacity. And this is actually a decent example. It gets even worse. So if we go to third base, I've got 4 non-super rares. And then if we go, I keep hitting the back button. If we go to shortstop, we've got another 4. And then left field, take shortstop off. Here I have 3. So you're starting to see, if you need 5 total people in that position to get the best resolve, the best skill that you can, then you're going to want to make sure that you level some of these guys up. Look at this, center field, I don't have a single super rare or higher. That means if I even want to have a chance of getting a level 5 center field resolve, I'm going to have to level these guys up to rank 5 at some point. Obviously, I haven't done that yet, which is why if we go look at my center field, they're all pretty crappy in the Bs. Right field, I've got 4 super rare, no ultra rare. The rest are all super rare. And then the worst normally for most people is center. Look at this. Or sorry, catcher. I've got 1 super rare and 2 that are super rare. In fact, I just recently did the mission for Shining Angels for the catcher, where you had to have level 4 or higher C's resolve. If I hadn't leveled up that catcher all the way up to rank 5, I wouldn't have been able to get 3 stars on this because I would have only been able to get 3 level 3 catcher's resolve. So guys, don't underestimate the power of the super rare characters. It's very important. Also, here's another thing that I've kind of learned. You don't want to sell any of your extra players. So these extra players that you slowly build up over time, as your roster grows, basically as you get better and better, you're going to replace those players. You don't want to get rid of any of them because Lecter's Lab, as you grow, when you hit rank C, you can go for an ultra rare trainer, and you're going to need to give, part of that is giving up 15 pitchers, a couple other random players that you put together that were actually pretty decent, or difficult to do, and then 15 batters. And if you've been selling those off for 1,000, 10,000, it's not going to work well. In my opinion, or in my experience, gold comes pretty quickly in this game, but the opportunity for ultra rare, for diamonds, and the other items that you can get that are important is not as easy. So any chance that you have, you want to be basically not just cashing out for gold. I haven't really grinded a whole bunch of gold, and I've just been able to maintain 1 million, and that's more than enough to do anything that I need to do. I run out of experience chips long before I run out of gold. So consider that. I think that's pretty important. The other thing is, guys, whenever you're developing a character, diamonds, you don't have to pay them. So if you look at my roster, I've only actually paid about $20 into this game. I bought the daily diamonds, and I bought one ultra rare character, which was I think it was this one, So Yang, the $8 or whatever. So that's all that I paid. I paid like $1 and then $8 twice, so actually like $17. And I was able to get all of these ultra rare. You can see here Tsubaki is actually rank 3, and also look at all these super rare, rank 4, rank 3, rank 3. So I've done pretty well, and I'm basically free to play. And the reason that I've been able to do that is just keeping track of the different missions and things that you can do. If you look here at the intensive manual, I've gone through most of it and tried to complete as much as I can. In fact, as I get more A-level characters, I'm going to get an additional ultra rare, if not 2 ultra rare characters, just based off of these little, what are they called? I don't even know what it's, okay, it's a trainer gene, ultra rare. So you can see I have 50. If I complete 5 more, I'll be able to get an ultra rare trainer out of that. But getting these diamonds, one of the things that's important is to continue to develop your characters. So something that I do all the time, if I have extra draft points, I believe that's what they're called, points to develop my player, I will constantly keep something running in the background on one of the main 3. So we have the Gameville Superstars, the Cruel Pumas, and the Shining Angels. I'll always have at least one running, because the initial thing that you have to do is you have this practice mode where you have to build 20 of that type, train 20. And so I'll just, even if I'm not paying attention, I'll run it on auto, and I'll do auto, and then so let me come over here and we'll actually set one up with something that I want to put together. I don't know. I didn't give much thought to what I might want to train. Let's see. If I go to the challenge, what can I do real quick? First baseman. We were just talking about first baseman, so we'll do a first baseman. And I'll just randomize the name. I don't pay attention to how it looks either. Right hit. We set up the first baseman deck already. 9,800. That's a reasonable attempt. I could probably go in and level up these other 2 guys, but for right now, I'll stick with that. I'm not going to put in a ton of effort, so let me just put in like cash and soda. And then I'll start. The development items is something I'll have to go over another time, but what I want to show you guys real quick is when you develop your characters, there's multiple ways to do it. There's multiple strategies. The first one that you can do is, if you don't have time, let's say you're at work or school or something, I would go in and I would start one like this, and then I would come up here to auto, and I would just hit auto start. And maybe even hit run auto on power saving. And then just leave it alone and come back in about 15 minutes, and you will have ran through the entire campaign and developed a character. And then it'll probably come out, it's not going to be your best or your strongest character. You're not really developing that character because you're trying to build your team. You're developing that character specifically because you're trying to develop one of 20, just so you can get into the main mode and start working towards your ultra rare. And here's what I mean by that. Let's see if it'll let me show you. It may not, just because, it's not going to let me. But earlier when you saw when we were inside of my player, it showed you practice mode, and then I believe it's either competition or complete or battle. I don't know. But the practice mode, you have to develop 20 characters. So at any given moment, if you have extra, just have that running in the background and try to get through those 20. Every 2, you get a pretty decent award, and when you hit 20, you get a guaranteed super rare. Then it gives you access to the secondary setup where you have to train 11 players and try to hit complex goals and missions. And once you accomplish all 11 at 3 stars, you get a guaranteed ultra rare. So two of the ultra rare that I've gotten have come from completing, so far I've completed Gameville, and then I completed the Cruel Puma. And now, right now, as you just saw, I'm actually working on the Angels. And so once I complete that one, of course, I'll get an additional ultra rare. So as you're playing, have that running in the background. And then when you're actually legitimately developing your characters, if it's a pitcher or a batter, there's different ways that you can play. You can do like a hybrid. A hybrid is where you train, you choose what you're going to train. So like the first time that I'm playing, like right now, whenever I'm on week 1, I'll actually just go in and I'm just trying to get up my rapport. I'm trying to build my affinity with these different characters. My morale, what is the word? Affinity, that's the word, okay. And I'm just going in and I'm looking for who has 2, or maybe it has a personal training. And so that's something too. If you're going to be playing the angel training, let me take a second and show you guys what this means. So the little exclamation mark right next to the icon. Let's see if there's another one. Yeah, right here on strength. You see there's 3 and then there's an exclamation mark. That means that here for Rachel, you look under active trainers, that Rachel is giving a personal training. And so once we get into week 2 and we start doing the tasks to become a superstar or whatever, personal training, and you'll see like a task that says complete personal training 3 times. That means you're going to go in to this exclamation mark and you're going to find training options where you can use the exclamation mark. And then you'll see complete special training 3 times or 2 times. And I don't have any here, but you've probably seen it before. If you see like where the dex or the mental, there's like a little flame there. That flame means that it's going to count towards completing your special training. But as you can see here, what I'm doing right now is I'm going through and I'm actually choosing what I'm going to train on. You can choose what skills, what abilities. You get to select what you want to do. If you want to do a duel, right? There's different events that happen after each time that you train. And so I'm actually actively participating in this. But then like sometimes it just takes too much time to actually play the game. So here's where the next part comes in. Well, I'm going to have to choose this. So whether you be a table setter or a cleanup, the thing that really matters on this is like what your batting order is. So if you're a table setter and you put the ball in play, then once you get enough superb, you'll be placed in batting order number 1. Is the best position. And then cleanup, so hitting extra base hits or home runs, that's where you're actually placed in position 4. If it's not a super strong deck, I'll tend to go for like something, I'll do like just to getting things out on the field as opposed to the extra base hits. Then I try to go for all 3 hard quests. So you can see here I got 1 normal, 2 hard, that's fine. If you're gonna go hybrid, which I'm talking about right now. So here's where hybrid comes in. If you're playing manually the whole time, then you're just going to actually play through the game. You're not going to back out. If you're playing hybrid, then you'll actually hit skip game and then tap the screen and it'll go through. If you're going to do hybrid, I would suggest picking normal or lower season missions. You're just not as consistent. However, I have found that it's actually the AI does decently well. It's hit and miss, but if you put into your skills, it does an okay job. I've had an AI that ran superb 6 of the 7 weeks, which was pretty good. So that's one other thing that you want to know is that you can train your characters different ways. Obviously, you can also use the automated one where you literally just set up what it is and walk away. I'm going to put a link in the description to Reddit where there's actually a guide on kind of some basic tips and tricks on how to build a deck. If you're doing the mechanic my player mode versus the manual one, and some different things that you can do there. So let me back out real quick. I'll go on to the next point. I apologize guys, this is a little bit longer video. I just didn't know how to break it up and organize it, so it's just going to be kind of labeled tips and tricks, things I wish I knew when I started. So So the next one is you have various items in your inventory. You've got skill capsules. These are used to level up the super skill. And then you've got these upgrade robots. Now, upgrade robots are important because they allow you to upgrade players even though you don't have duplicates of that player. So for example, right now I'm max level on Rachel, so let's upgrade her. Well, I can't upgrade her because I don't have, oh well, she's in my player, but I'll try it on So-Yang. I don't have identical trainers. But if I had a robot here, I could click the robot and the robot would take the place. So you might think automatically like, well, let me just work on whatever deck I'm working on, but you don't want to do that. You want to save your robots to upgrade the characters that have a very small amount of trainers, like catchers. There's only like 4 catchers in the entire game. If we go look at the index, we sort and we select catcher. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, there's 7. But the odds of getting these, because 4 of them are super, super rare or higher, so 1 ultra rare and 3 super, super rares. And there's only 3 super rare, and they don't come out that often. So the odds of getting a catcher is pretty low. So you want to save your upgrade robots, that way you can get it. In fact, my 2 catchers that I have over here that I've leveled up, I leveled them up using robots because I did not have duplicates of these catchers. I had to use robots. And then there's a couple other positions that's similar. So the way that you can tell what you want to use your robots on is just, you can literally come in here like I just did, go to index, and then you can go row by row. So for catcher, what just happened? Oh, it's showing all the pictures too. For catcher, there's only 7. If you go to first base, you can see that there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's not too bad. Second base, you've got, I just need to figure out, that's 7, so that's 9. Third base, you've got 9 again. Shortstop, you've got 9. Left field, you've got 9. So a lot of these have 9. Center field, 9. But look, 9, but only 4 of them are super rare. So center field's another one of those ones that you want to make sure that you're using your robots on. And then the other one is going to be, so right field, I believe there's 8, and then on closing pitcher, there's just not a lot of options there. Well, I say that, it looks like there's a lot of options, but look, I only have 4 that I've actually gotten. There's 2 ultra rare. They just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't get them very often. Maybe it's because of the decks that they have out that you can recruit from. They're just not included in them, but I haven't gotten very many. So that's something that you want to consider. Just be considerate. Don't just burn through your robots. You want to use them kind of more consistently. The other thing is, whenever you're leveling up your trainers, like let's say you wanted to come, I think this guy could be, let me see somebody. Here, this is a tier 3, rank 3, and I can level them up. You don't want to go through and use your normal. You pay the same amount per reward, or per experience, that capsule or chip, whatever this is, reward chip, experience chip that you use. And so, but each one obviously goes up by a factor. So like this is 450 or 150 each. Blue is 500. Epic is, I believe, 6,000. I don't know how much red is. And then this gold one is 57,800. So each one that you use costs you the same amount. Look, it's 934 to use this one, but it's 2,802 to use those 3. So you don't want to dump in a ton of this. You're just going to be wasting gold if you're like, okay, I'm like, unless you're really close to the level, you're like, okay, I'm at level 39 and you have 100 rare, you're going to dump 100 grand trying to get that taken care of. It's just going to take you a lot of effort and you're not really going to end up accomplishing much. So you want to save your lower rating experience chips to level up your lower rating rare characters, and then you want to take those rare characters, trade them in to get the epic reward or experience chips that you can use to level up your super rare characters. I know it's a little bit convoluted, but just don't waste a ton doing that. And then I guess I just want to kind of finish off on that, but the main thing is, guys, just make sure you're enjoying the game. Play the game for fun. I'll probably do a whole separate one on deck building and some different tips and tricks in terms of actually playing the game, things that I think are good. The number one thing that I'll say just real quick before we go is, guys, do the daily games every day as it gets replaced, and do the diamond home run. In fact, I'll probably make a separate video about this, but do the diamond home run until you get the achievement for getting 50 home runs in one attempt. It's going to be really important if you're going to continue to play this game, because after the first 30 days of playing it, your rookie buff that's active goes away. And when that happens, you're no longer going to have Eagle Eye, Hawkeye, Weakness Guide, Weakness Report. You're not going to know where to pitch, and you're not going to know where to hit. So you're going to have experience in hitting home runs or in hitting the ball. And it also helps you, even when you know where the ball's coming and when it's going to get there, it's still going to be helpful to know, to get the hang of the timing from hitting the home runs. It's just something that you want to familiarize yourself with. And you do that through daily games and also through, like, I believe the club will tell you. But look, you see, nothing's telling me where it's going to hit. I just have to get used to it. Look, I failed. And then when you're hitting the ball, if it goes to the right, you know you're hitting it too early. If it goes to the left, you're hitting it too late. If it goes in the middle, straight on to the back, then you know that you're hitting it close to perfect time. I don't know how you have your control set up, but mine will vibrate when I hit a perfect home run. And so when you hit that perfect home run, look, it goes right near the middle. Man, this thing always gets me whenever it slows back down after you miss. It's like called a changeup, I believe, but it really messes with me. Yeah, look, I failed. But so 27, not my best attempt, but not terrible. So you want to come and play this just to get the hang of your batting, because the better you do on batting, the more money you're going to have to spend, the more missions and awards that you'll be able to accomplish, the more diamonds you'll get, the more pools you'll make, and the ability to play. Man, I totally forgot about this too. When you're doing developing my player, it's the cheapest thing to refill. It's 50 diamonds to get 200 back. Okay, so there we go. Sorry, for some reason my screen, my recording stopped, so I had to break it into two parts. But it's the cheapest thing to get back in terms of like to spend is to develop your player. So if you're out of development points but you still feel like playing, or you haven't accomplished all of the AFK-able 60 characters that you have to develop, then I would invest the 50 to start over, because each one takes so long. It's 15-20 minutes to develop each character. Make sure you're playing each mode. Planet League, you can see here I'm all the way up into normal and then the B-, so Noble League. This is how you get a bunch of cores. Those cores become very important in leveling up your trainers. You can see here, each time this trainer interacts with somebody, the person that it interacts with is going to get 40 dex, 14 strength, 19 intelligence. And if it was a strength character, so if I had this equipped in a strength character, it would be mental plus 37. And each character can actually equip multiple cores. So you can see here, you could have that one combined with 36 strength, 20 intelligence, 13 mental. You could literally, in one interaction, get up to 100 of each skill just from talking to one character without actually having to train. And that's how a lot of these players are getting A's and S's when they're doing the training. So just consider the importance of my planet, or planet mode, planet league, whatever it is, so you can get these cores, so you can level up the cores, and then you can level up in terms of your ability of actually your entire team. So there's a lot of good rewards that come from all of that. To do this, to play this game right, takes a lot of time. I totally understand, where that comes from. I've put a lot of hours into this game just since it's come out. So, just be healthy about it. Don't overplay it, but enjoy it. And if you're gonna play it right, and do what you can to do your best. Once again, guys, this ended up being a lot longer video than I expected, so I apologize for that. Hopefully it was helpful. Maybe I'll break this up into some smaller videos later, just that are more bite-sized about specific things. But if you guys have any questions, Any recommendations, anything you'd like me to cover, please leave it down in the comments. Reach out to me on Discord. Once again, I'll put that link in the description. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. This has been a fun game to play, and hopefully you can learn from some of my mistakes. Thank you, guys.